Hudson O'Neal took home the first win of the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series at the Golden Isles Speedway. He dominated the race. He led all but one lap. There was one point, though, where he might have seen it all slip away. Fortunately, he was able to do a really good job of blocking Jonathan Davenport, kind of stopping his momentum, and then doing a really good job of diamonding the next lap in the corner and getting a huge run through the middle of the track and reclaiming the top spot. Before we get into this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at John Trent Racing. So let's look at this one kind of mistake that Hudson O'Neal makes that almost cost him the race. He kind of jumps the cushion, almost like hits the wall, loses a ton of momentum. Jonathan Davenport is there to try and pounce, seemingly does pounce, but I do think Hudson does a great job of kind of blocking Davenport, forcing him to kind of get off of it and not allowing him to complete the pass fully. And then Hudson is able to do a great job of diamonding the corner once they get back to 1 and 2 and getting a huge run down the straightaway. Drag races, not just with Jonathan Davenport, but also Brandon Overton, who was making it 3 wide. And this was about in the middle of the race. There was some absolutely great racing. It's unfortunate that we didn't get to stay green because we were getting like 4 or 5 of them right there racing for the lead. You had Hudson O'Neal, you had Jonathan Davenport, you had Brandon Overton, you had Brandon Shepard and Ricky Thornton Jr. and Jimmy Owens were all up there putting on a fantastic show in that top 5, 6. Unfortunately, as we moved on towards the end of the race, it kind of got plagued by a number of cautions, and that I think benefited Hudson O'Neal. He was able to really just kind of pull away, and no one really had anything for him. The When they got those long greens, he got into the lap traffic. That really made it a lot very exciting because he kind of came back to Davenport and Overton, and you got to really see a lot of good racing. But let's take a look here at what happened with Hudson O'Neal that almost cost him the race. So you can see here coming out of turn 2, he jumps the cushion a little bit right there, loses it, catches it, saves it from going into the wall. Davenport is right there, but Hudson does a great job coming down the track, and I think that really does kind of stop Davenport's momentum. And then Davenport, I think, does make a mistake here. He kind of maybe should have drifted up a little bit and tried to block Hudson. And he does it there in that corner, but Hudson kind of predicted it and then drives down with the corner. And then he does a good job of kind of coming up and blocking Davenport there. You can see Davenport had to get off of it, and Hudson was able to reclaim the lead and wouldn't take back. But right there, under a blanket, 4 cars, Hudson in first, Overton in second there, Davenport in third, Brandon Shepard in fourth. It was some fantastic racing through the middle portion of the race. It was really, really good. But as I said, when we got towards the later stages of the race, we had a number of cautions and really allowed Hudson to get kind of that open track, and he pulled away for the win. This is how it ended up here. Let's look at the top 10 here real quick. You can see Hudson O'Neal obviously finished in first. Jonathan Davenport came in second. Brandon Overton rounded out your podium in third. Ricky Thornton Jr. Finished in fourth. Brandon Shepard in fifth. Jimmy Owens in sixth. Kyle Bronson finished in seventh. Devin Moran in eighth. Dalton Wilson came in ninth. And then Dennis Erb Jr. rounded out your top 10. So that is your top 10 for the first night of the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series at the Golden Isles Speedway. I think this is a statement win for Hudson O'Neal. He's now won 2 in a row. He won in the World of Outlaws at Volusia Speedway last weekend, their final race down there in I think it's the Sunshine Nationals. So I think might have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Maybe doesn't like the conversation around how he won the championship last year, and he's setting out to prove that, hey, I am deserving of winning that championship, and he's going to go out there and try and have just as phenomenal a year as Ricky Thornton Jr. had last year. And he's putting on a show. He's good to watch. He's dominating in his heat races. He's doing really good in qualifying, and he is right now the car to beat in both the World of Outlaws and in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. I think he's shown that here first night at Golden Isles Speedway, and then obviously last weekend at Volusia. So Hudson O'Neal is saying, "I'm here. I'm a threat, and I'm a threat to win the championship." It is interesting to see that the cream did rise to the top as well. Obviously, some of the top performers last year in the series are in this top 10. We have all of our top four from last year are in the top eight. Hudson O'Neal, Jonathan Davenport, Ricky Thornton Jr., and Devin Moran. And then obviously Overton was, I think he finished in fifth or sixth overall, but he was competing for that fourth position throughout the year with Moran and Tim McCready. So it was a fun race, especially through the middle part. I really wish we had stayed green. It would have been a great race, I think, if we had stayed green. Unfortunately, we got those cautions, and it really kind of bogged down the race, and allowed Hudson to kind of just run away with it unchallenged. But those are my thoughts on what happened for the first night of the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series at Golden Isle Speedway. Let me know what you guys thought about the race in the comments below.